We'll be diving into one of the largest ERP transformations in the UK's public sector, like slightly different angle, slightly different audience this week. But we're talking about a case study in the UK and one of the largest ERP implementations they're going to be taking on at the federal level, was called the Crown level, um, where the government is spending £144 million through a contract with Workday and Cognizant. But more importantly, we'll be breaking down what this means for digital transformation, procurement efficiency, and how governments around the world, especially here in the US, can learn from this approach. So, for those who don't know me, I'm AV. I am the founder and CEO at Avero. We specialize in helping governments across the country in the US right now modernize their ERPs, their operations, and digitally transform their organizations all the way from strategy to post implementation. We are an independent third party advisory company that does not have any affiliations to any software vendors, but we work very closely with all of our software partners and friends, including Workday. So today I want to talk about a few things, key lessons from this massive UK project, both from an ERP implementation perspective and from a proficiency of procurement perspective. They've done some really cool and innovative things to sort of buy this product and the service pretty quickly. So, by the way, if you're joining us today from anywhere in the world, please let me know in the chat box and send me any questions you might have on this topic through the chat box. So, what are we going to cover? We're going to cover, what is the UK government actually doing with Workday? The procurement strategy, how did they pull this off? And the challenges of a large-scale ERP implementation like this, and how this relates to us. Why am I talking about this? And of course, this is a live discussion. Again, drop your comments and your questions along the way in the chat box, and we will answer them as we go. It's just me today. Sorry, my team couldn't join, but I think we'll keep it interactive as always, and looking forward to this discussion. And by the way, we go live every Wednesday around the same time. And all of this content gets turned into various different formats on blogs. And so please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go check out our blog posts and lots of great stuff in there. The chat is already popping. Oh, it's Megan. Yeah, great view and excited for this. We still haven't figured out the lighting situation in the studio. So excuse the not so crisp production today, but we are going to get there. So what is going on? We're talking about a £144 million Workday implementation. I mean, it seems large, but when you talk about how involved and how big these ERP implementations are, that to me was a surprisingly medium level number. Right? For the amount of agencies that this project will consume for 10 years, there might be more to come on those costs. And of course, this is split between Workday and Cognizant, who is the system integrator that is going to be actually configuring and putting the system in for these agencies at the Crown. So why this matters? This matters because the number catches your eyes. It's one of the largest ERP overhauls in UK's public sector history. And it also, given what we do in the US, it really is important to keep an eye on not only, the number and how they're doing this, the methodology, but also how it's going to go in the next 10 years. It could set the stage for more large-scale ERP implementations across the US. Some key facts. So 144 million ERP contract that was awarded to Workday and Cognizant in October of 2024. It covers 48,000 users across 9 departments. Now, some of our federal agencies, some of our states have, employees that kind of reach this number, but doesn't take away from the fact that this is massive. So it covers 9 departments, 48,000 users, including Treasury, Cabinet Office, Education, etc. And the goal is to replace 15 instances of 9 different ERP systems. You name the system, they're in there. Oracle, SAP, Microsoft Dynamics, Unit 4. The operations now run on these various systems, and the goal is to replace all of them in consolidate into one platform. So lots of nuances here. Drop your comments in the comment box and tell me this is going from multiple systems to a single system. And within that, there might be other partner systems that Workday has brought along, maybe for some unique use cases. But uh, best of breed or all in one, what do you think this is? So why did they pick Workday, by the way? It's a leading cloud-based SaaS model for HR and finance product for modernization. Not the only product out there, lots of great products, but I haven't dug deeper into why they picked Workday, how they did it, but how they did it, the actual procurement we'll talk about real quickly. So let me quickly check on the chat box. All is clear. Um, so what did the UK government do? How did they do this? Did they release an RFP? How big was that requirements list? What they actually did was they used a procurement vehicle that they use in the UK called G-Cloud. And it's a government procurement framework that simplifies cloud-based procurement. It's specifically for cloud-based products and services. And the goal is to eliminate long RFPs and allow pre-qualified vendors, pre-approved vendors to compete more effectively. So that's how they procured Workday and Cognizant. And there's a digital marketplace where they, the simple answer is they looked for a product and they picked Workday. But there's more there. There's probably selection criteria that was used. There was a lot of analysis that went into selecting Workday and Cognizant. But basically, at the end of the day, they probably were picked based on compliance, capabilities, and cost. But it sounds like there was no lengthy bidding process. We're seeing in the US 8 to 10 months of selection. We at Avero, we're trying to nail that down and bring it down to 3 to 4 months. So we'll move as fast as you could move on your side. If you're listening in and you're a government agency looking for an ERP system and about to go through an implementation or at least a selection process. Questions: how did they select? Yeah, I don't know. Do a quick search, see what you come up with. But I don't know. It was a pre sort of they picked it from a cooperative contract is what it looks like. So G Cloud seems like a cool little side session we can do one day on digging deeper into what that means and how they did it and how that could be potentially used in other places. So what are the key challenges in large scale ERP implementation? If you look at this project, it covers 9 different agencies. Within those 9 agencies, it covers 15 instances of several products that they're currently using. So where would you start with this? You're talking about a fragmented system or systems that are doing some very important processes for these agencies: financial management, payroll, HRIS, at the very minimum. So where do you even start to untangle this ball of Christmas lights, right? You can't just say delete all the other systems and let's implement Workday. There's going to be a systematic project management schedule and interface schedule, and really they need to do this in a systematic way. So the key challenges you're going to face are system fragmentation. You're replacing multiple ERP systems across departments, right? And you can't just go ahead and rip and replace. You have to think about how the new system is going to change business processes, how business processes need to change based on the new system you're buying. Because I don't know how long some of these implementations were, but given that they've been using some of the leading technologies in the world for a long time, it probably at least 20 years of data, if not more, that they need to think about. Data migration, moving critical financial and HR data to a new system is challenging when you're talking about one agency and one system. When you're talking about 9 agencies at the what they call the crown level, um, they better be thinking about data migration early so that they can take advantage of whatever newer system. Well, it's Workday, but there's still a process to bring data from an older system to the new system, make sure that it is in the right format, that you're not bringing junk data from 30 years ago, right? So a data migration strategy is going to be critical. User adoption and change management is the next big thing. Uh, People are used to using the same system. People are used to their own business processes, and now you're going to make them do something different. Of course, this is a 10-year contract. I don't know how much of that is implementation versus ongoing operations, but user adoption, change management, and getting people and the end user to adopt to uh, newer workflows, more automation, less paper is going to be critical. So um, a big part of the PMO is going to be a change management track that does nothing but make sure that everyone's on board, that they're getting the right information at the right time, and that training is coupled with the more softer side of implementations. Just ruffle feathers are prevalent in ERP implementation. So it's really important that change management takes place in a really deliberate manner. Question from the chat box. Was the procurement process structured in a way that truly encouraged competition, or was Workday already the front runner? So given that they used a cooperative contract, what I think happened is they picked Workday based on several different selection criteria, including demos. I can't imagine they didn't go through the selection process with other vendors that Workday is replacing on this contract. So you can't just uh, tell Oracle and SAP to go away. I'm sure there was a lot of discussion. There was a lot of deliberation and looking at proposals. Even if you're on a cooperative contract, it's always great to run some sort of a selection process to make sure you're picking the right product. Great questions.